time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 130 of Two Guys and a Goalie. It's Nielson, Gage, and Salas, and Matt Kassian with you once again. And as always, we are presented to you by our friends at Coolbet Canada. Visit them at coolbet.com. Sign up using the code 2GUYS, and you get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. They'll beat any odds you can find anywhere else. Stay cool, bet responsibly with Coolbet. Chris Abbott will be by a little bit later on, Canadian manager of Coolbet. He'll pop by. If you're watching on the live stream on my Twitter account, feel free to comment on anything we're talking about, ask any questions, we can get to that, and of course subscribe to the podcast on all your podcasting platforms. Cass, let's see it, buddy. Let's see that haircut, my man.
Whoa,
so cool.
Good.
I could never pull off
ready
that
for
look.
summer, boys. It's not done up today, but went a little bit shorter on top, nice and short on the sides, and it feels real nice. Feels real nice.
You look fast.
Quick, real quick.
That fast look for haircut. I have had the same haircut since I was 5 years old. Like, I haven't done anything outside of grow out the afro every once in a while. I don't think I could pull off what you got going, Cass. I'm not cool enough.
Could we maybe, like, depending, I guess, if you got to do any TV stuff this summer with TSN, could we maybe like take a vote and have the fans decide how to cut your hair? Or something, or even just us three, like let us decide like your next haircut.
I'll say this. If the CFL season gets canceled, you guys can do whatever you want with my hair. Whatever you want with my hair. At that point, I won't even have a reason to live. So I will I'll let you guys do whatever you want with this sweet, sweet mane. I dyed it like Eminem last day of college, and not a good look for me. Not a good look at all.
No highlights, real low lights.
Yeah, pretty much. That's right. Gage, are you repping the Trap there on opening day in Major League Baseball?
I thought I'd throw the baseball hat on today. I see the Jays are doing well, so yeah, just the old Edmonton Trappers hat. It was Roscoe Flats. It's Roscoe Flats, right? Roscoe Flats that was nice enough to throw some headwear my way, and yeah, I'll represent. I'd like to get down to is it Telus Field still now at some point? That'd be great. Or BMO Field?
I don't remember.
BMO? Bell?
Yeah,
no, BMO's the Toronto one.
No,
you know what I miss though, Gager? I miss Homer. I miss Homer so much.
Yeah.
If you guys remember Homer the mascot, I love that guy.
AAA games, well, it's not in Vancouver, was the Canadians. I remember reading an article, there was this family that went around to every baseball park in North America, and that one was voted like top 5 for nicest places to watch a game, just because big, huge trees, mountains in the background, things like that. It's if you ever get out to Vancouver, I don't even know if it's still there, actually, to tell you the truth, but that was a fun place to go have a hot dog. I remember the relish. Like, the relish was an ungodly shade of green. Like, it looked like it was radioactive. It was so green. I don't think that was ever good for you, but ballpark relish, it always looked kind of odd.
Hernan, what's up, buddy? How are you?
I'm good, man. I got the new lid today. I ordered it online, got it just in time for the game. So yeah, it's always fun when the Jays are playing on opening day. So yeah, good time.
When I was living in Fort Mac, my co-host on the morning show up there, he had a tradition that I hopped in on opening day. After our morning show, we'd walk across to the Peter Pond Mall and buy a baseball jersey to celebrate opening day. We'd go over, get a jersey. It was good. I've dialed it back a bit. I'll probably pick up a new Jays hat somewhere here in the first couple of weeks of the season, but it's good. All right. We got lots to get to today. We got to talk about it. But quickly, let's just start. Oilers practicing after coming back here. They'll be ready for Calgary on Friday. Who knows what's happening with Vancouver on Saturday. Hernan, what do we got for line combinations from Tippett here at practice today?
Yeah, so it looks like they're going back to the top 6 of McDavid with JP and the Nuge, and it's going to be Cahoon back with Draisaitl and Yamamoto. That's what we saw from TSN's Ryan Rishaug and Tommy Gazzola. The interesting part is Tyler Ennis heads on waivers so they can get him onto the taxi squad. So that means is this the start for Alex Stalock to join the main group? Because also of note, Caleb Jones was with Ethan Baird today, and Chris Russell was with Adam Larson. So that means Laguson's probably coming out. And I just don't see who else you would be bringing into the main squad outside of Stalock. So that's the news from Oilers practice today.
Are you disrespecting James Neal? Is that what's happening?
It could be James Neal as well, right? But I mean, you still have Chase on out there that sat out last game, right, as well. So I don't know. Like it's interesting, and I know Tommy tweeted out a picture that Kassian and Stalock were sharing the net today at practice. So we'll see what happens, boys.
We'll get to Stalock in a second because I know Gage wants to hit on that. But Cass, we got my top 6 fixed there for 2 periods in that last game because there wasn't like Cahoon, I think, to slide back in there. So Tippett was just looking for something. I would have liked to seen a little bit more of it. But what do you think of Tippett going back once again to that kind of his go-to top 6?
It's not surprising. You just said it. It's his go-to top 6.
Yeah.
I would like to see a little bit of a different look. You certainly are going to have a different look next time you play Montreal or Toronto. But not surprised at all really here. They've had a lot of success with it this year. So okay, I get it. Go back to it. Let it rip. But if you still struggle to generate offense, then let's give that shakeup another look, or go to the nudie line, which he just still he's done for 5 minutes in one game and has kind of thrown up his hands and said, well, I tried it, but he definitely hasn't. But yeah, not surprised.
Gage, go back to what you know, essentially, I guess. And I mean, it doesn't work excellently all the time because they go away from it, but it has been the most common thing that we've seen in a year that's been pretty good for the Oilers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, last game wasn't the best, but I think throughout the whole lineup, it was just once in a while throughout the year, everyone just lays an egg. That was that game. I don't think you can take too much from it. But for Tippett, I think he doesn't want to keep things the same. Just mix it up, start fresh, get ready for the Flames.
All right, let's start with goaltending. Gager, what do we got to talk about?
Well, after last game, I was in a glass case of emotion, Dusty, for the first period there, because 18 seconds in, a goal gets scored against, and we look at Koskinen, and someone threw out the numbers of how many goals he's allowed on the first shot, and it's not great. And trust me, I know how difficult it is to go into a game after not playing for a few weeks. But saying that's you don't get to that level without being able to do certain incredible things. And I really think that first, even though it's a one-timer from the slot and Kotkaniemi put it in a good position, I still thought that was a stoppable puck. And you saw how that one goes in. He's struggling to stop the puck next. He can't find it. It just looked crazy on the defensive side. All of a sudden, all these guys are trying to stop, like block shots because they're scared of another one going in. You can really see how, when the difference with Mike Smith, where he comes in and makes a couple big saves, how it changes the whole dynamic of how a team defends. Then this is where I went through my emotions phase, where everyone started playing poorly, and I didn't put too much on Koskinen not being able to keep that game within reach in that first period. But saying that, you had the opportunity to do something special and you didn't do it. Here's where the Stalock in the wings waiting. He's going to definitely get an opportunity to play just because of that game. Although the Oilers didn't play well, you have the opportunity to have 3 goalies going come playoff times, as it looks like the Oilers are going to make the playoffs. And you just can't have a situation like last year where you had 2 guys had their games at an okay level. So you need guys to be playing at the top of their game at playoff time, and I'm excited to see what Stalock can do, because he played good last year. I think he's a really good goalie. I know he's a good puck handling goalie, so that's another side that I think he has over Mikko. So I'm not sure when he's going to actually get in, but I'm excited to see him.
Cass, do you think Koskinen's next start goes to Stalock?
1 out of 4 games, he is giving up a goal in the first shot. Actually, more than that statistically. 1 out of 4 games, a goal is going in on the first shot, and you know the last one okay, but 3 of them, you know, I think or two of the 4, like trying to think of the total number, I can't remember, but like there's 3 or 4 of them that have been basically like below the goal line, like not good goals that have gone in the first shot. And regardless of how you feel about, you know, pass out to the slot and the one-timer there, you can't have that happen. You can't be playing from behind. The Oilers are so much a better team when the other team is forced to open up to try to score. The Oilers have so much more success. So yes, without a doubt, Stalock is getting Koskinen's next start. Without a doubt, he's going to get an opportunity here. I would be shocked and surprised if Koskinen starts one before Stalock does.
Hernan, you breathed like you were going to talk there. That's why I said
You got into the mic and everything. I was waited
you
on bated breath
forward.
there. Wow.
You literally were
have it, buddy.
I agree with
I was
both
like,
the guys.
here he comes.
I agree with both the guys where even on the post-game show, like a lot of people were like, enough with the excuses for Koskinen. And like Gage just said, Kotkaniemi left all alone in front of the net. But I mean, goalies can make that save.
It's not an impossible save. It's not a backdoor tap in, right? So
so that's why I think just people have kind of, and like Cass said, like it seems with Koskinen, you're always chasing the game, and even on that third goal, like he can't find the puck and it sneaks behind him. Gallagher finds it. With Koskinen, you can tell early on, Dusty, and I know we've been at a few games when he started and he's letting out bad. You kind of look at it, you know when Koskinen's gonna when he's gonna have a rough night, because you can tell right away. It's early on where he's shaky, rebounds are all over the place, he's dropping the puck, and I do believe with the guys, I think Stalock is it now. If they were playing the back-to-backs, I think we were going to see Stalock in one of those games. Now that's up in the air right now, but I do believe that Stalock will get Koskinen's next start here.
Yeah, with the back-to-backs being up in the air, I kind of feel like you save an Ottawa start for Stalock.
Yeah.
Nothing against the Sens, but they got Calgary, then they got a couple days off if they don't end up playing Vancouver here. Then it'll be Montreal again. You're going back to Mike Smith in that game. And then you got those 2 against Ottawa. It feels like that's got Stalock's start written all over it for his first start with the team. So I just, I felt like when I saw that goal, the first one, I felt like I was being overly critical of Koskinen. But with the way Mike Smith's been playing this year and with how compact he usually is, I don't think that puck gets through Mike Smith. And it got through Koskinen, who kind of just put his big left leg out to the side and it went underneath his pad and into the net. So it was a little bit frustrating for sure. Let's stick with the goalie talk, actually. Hernan, what do we got to talk about?
Yeah, Thatcher Demko gets a new deal, 5x5 there, and you know what, for as much heat as the GM takes in Vancouver, I think this is a really good deal. I mean, you're getting your starting goaltender at a really good price. It's obvious Demko's taken over there in Vancouver. Over Holtby there, that we thought it was going to be more of a split. This guy, those games we saw in the playoffs, so it was like Demko playoff hockey. He was outstanding, but he's brought it into the regular season. Now his team is struggling a bit, and they're not as good as they were last season, but he's still been game, and we've seen him play against Oilers, and his last game against Edmonton, he was outstanding. He was the reason they won that game. So I like this deal. I truly do. I wish down the road the Oilers can find a goalie similar to Demko and get him signed up for 5 years at $5 million. I just think this is the way to go for goaltenders. And and Demko, maybe someone has said he could have got a little bit more, but he's happy to be there and be the number one guy. So I just want to get your guys' thought. Do you like the deal? I just don't see anyone not liking this deal for Vancouver outside of all the bad deals their GM has given out in the past. I think he knocked it out of the park with this one.
I did like it. I think it's get him locked in. And how I was trying to look up his age, but you're getting
He's 25. He's 25.
So you're getting a few unrestricted years out of that as well.
Yeah, true.
That does make a ton of sense for a guy that young right now, and playing as well as he is. And just I mean, the Canucks aren't a great defensive team, and he is he's arguably their best player again. That's a nice thing to have for the Canucks, that their goalies have been their best players the past 2 years. Really good for him. I think it's funny. Looking back at the whole season of the Oilers playing against different teams, he was the first goalie that I thought actually beat the Oilers single-handedly. So he has that kind of game in his repertoire, and there's not many. I haven't seen too many of those games that the Oilers ran up against a hot goalie. But I think it was a no-brainer to get him locked down, because they're only going as far as he can take them for the Canucks right now.
Cass, what do you think?
Yeah, good deal. Good deal, good length of time. He does give up a couple years, which is maybe bumped the number up slightly. He's still, from a long-term standpoint, like relatively unproven. But I think they've seen enough now at this point to know that they want to lock him up for a while. And if they do it early from the Canucks standpoint, you get him for cheaper. Now, for Demko, the flip side is he just signed a 5-year deal. And, he just signed a 5-year deal for whatever, $25 million. So, like, he's going to be doing okay there for that. And I think it's something that both sides will be happy and should be happy with. I think a good all-around deal. I don't think anyone, even for Demko, I don't think this is a bad deal for him. He gets some certainty. The Canucks get some certainty, and this is good for their organization.
It is. I think it probably ends up being really good. But, Gage, would you be hesitant at all to give a guy $25 million when he's played 62 games in the National Hockey League? Look what happened with Carter Hart. Carter Hart, and I think one of you guys brought it up, he got hey, step away for a bit. Get your game back together here. And I would have never thought we'd be saying that about Carter Hart. And right now, I don't think we'd ever be saying it about Thatcher Demko, but we were just proven wrong. So it's only 60 games, and you just committed your entire organization to him for the next 5 years.
It's a good question. I think just everyone bases so much on playoff performance, and to be in that type of situation and excel, that you can almost write your own ticket if you can get into a situation and play really, really well. I think after what they saw him do last year in the playoffs, and he was phenomenal. It was awesome. And especially with that pressure of your Markstrom, who was so fantastic as well. And he came in and it just hit the ground running, and it was exactly the same types of performance, maybe even a little bit better to an extent. I don't think you need to see any more in this particular type of situation, Dusty. Regular season, a little bit different. If it was just, maybe no playoff experience, just 60 games, then I get a little bit wearisome. I look over with the Leafs with Campbell, like that sample size. That's what I would kind of get leery about if I was going to give him that type of money. But with Demko, age, past performance, I think it's well worth the money.
Hey, Dusty, and it is like you could be a little bit concerned. You look in the past, like a guy like Steve Mason, right, who had an unreal year and then, completely fell off the map, right? And you brought up Carter Hart, 3 years younger.
Matt Murray
yeah.
Won 2 Stanley Cups. Where is he now? Right?
Yeah.
Well, he's in Ottawa, so give him a break.
But he's their third best goalie.
Yeah, he should be playing a little bit better. Look at John Gibson. That's his name, right? Gibson.
Yep.
He's a good goalie, and he makes the Ducks a lot better than what they are. But Murray, the sign of a good goalie is making a good team a great team, and Murray can't. He was on a great team and he played really well. I won't deny that, but I think he should be playing a lot better than what he is doing, even though it is Ottawa.
Yeah. So, we like the deal. We think it probably works out. I was just a little hesitant on it. Finn Yaps on Twitter right now. And if you're watching on Twitter, you can chime in. He says, Demko is older and more experienced pro games than Hart is. So, that's a fair point. Demko's mid-20s, Hart's early 20s, so different stages of their career. So maybe that was a bad comparison. But I think we pointed out some other goalies too.
He's got didn't Carey Price, well, he was around the same age as Demko when Price sucked for that 1 year when he was really young, wasn't he?
When he lost the job to Halak, essentially.
Yeah,
Halak, and everyone in Montreal wanted to trade Halak or keep Halak and trade Price.
Yeah, I'd like to see what age Carey Price was that year and see if it's the same as Demko's. That'd be funny. But
all right, Cass, what do we got to talk about, buddy?
The old McNasty, McDirty, McDownright evil. High hit. Gets the big fine, should have been suspended for like 12 games, just tarnishes everything about him as a player. Can't watch any of his highlights anymore. Just so mean, McMean, and elbowing people. And how could he be so dirty and horrible and filthy and nasty and mean? I was shocked by the number of people who were just I think it was okay to debate, oh, well, maybe they'll suspend him for this or maybe they won't. Like, that was fine. I was fine with people talking about that, although I watched it like 10 times, and I'm like, there's no way he gets a suspension for this. Like, this, it wasn't even close to being suspension worthy. It wasn't even close, in my opinion, to really being finable, but it was like, because it was so talked about, the NHL wanted to do something about it. So, like, we're going to give him the lightest slap on the wrist that he just won't even notice, doesn't even mean anything to him. But I could not believe the number of people that were talking about how this can tarnish like Connor McDavid's legacy. Like, this is going to go against, voting for him for the Hart Trophy because he got his hands up on somebody in when he was frustrated in a game. And it's just so stupid, like, just dumb. Like, we talk about like people like trying to justify their votes for different trophies that have votes, the hockey writers, to try to do clickbait. And I just feel like this was the same thing for people trying to just blow something out of proportion to where it's just dumb. And your opinions, like, I'm sorry if you're trying to be controversial. They're not controversial. They're just stupid. So just save me that garbage. And just watch a game for 10 seconds. And even just to go on top of it, I don't know if you guys saw, but another good player just got a big fine, and and Nathan McKinnon, and he must be less respected in the dressing room now because it was on a 10-minute misconduct, and he must have said something so mean and so rude that now I don't know if we can ever consider him for the Hart Trophy anymore because he got fined for something and he should have been suspended. Like, just ridiculous. Like, give me a break. Okay, Connor got fined. Yeah, his hands and elbow got a little bit up. Didn't really even make that from a hitting. So just give it a rest. Get over it. He was frustrated. It's fine. He didn't cross-check someone in the teeth. And even then, I kind of would be excited if he did. I'm glad he showed a little bit more emotion. And usually he's really self-controlled on the ice, and I think that's great. It reflects well. But every once in a while to have that little thing, like, because people are going to try to get at him all the time. He's not going to overreact. But just knowing that there is a little bit of a wild card in there every once in a while, that he isn't afraid to do something, I think is great. So I don't know. I was frustrated with all the people that were chiming in that are just a bunch of meatballs on this. So there's my spiel, and I'm going to have a sip of tea.
Yeah, tea.
That's what's in there. Hey, Cass, that's what's in there. I looked at it, and the reason he was frustrated is because officials give him a shitty deal every single time. He comes flying through the neutral zone. Kotkaniemi's got his stick up on his hands, loses the puck as he comes in over the blue line, and finally, after dealing with the same stuff 2 games in a row against the Leafs and being on the road for 10, I think he was just like, enough's enough. And he goes over, he hits him. It wasn't blindside or anything. Kotkaniemi saw him coming, and as he hits him shoulder to shoulder, kind of finishes like this. And Kotkaniemi, he embellished a bit and was on the bench laughing moments later as McDavid was in the box as the Oilers completely fell apart in a hockey game. So I think, it's the same sort of thing like with McKinnon. I mean, these elite guys, when they know they're better than everybody and they know that they have the abilities a lot of these other guys don't, but you're inability to call penalties properly allows them to get to this point in frustration where, they're going up a little high in Kotkaniemi, or they're throwing a helmet back at Garland. I don't think it's a coincidence that you got two of these guys midway through the season who are starting to lose their mind a little bit. Gager, is that too weird of way to spin this, or what?
I'm very old school thinking on this, Dusty. When I played, the skilled guys, there was always guys always hesitated maybe to take an extra run because there was the chance of having to spend the next 5 hours in a dentist chair, right? Like, that's how they created room. Like, it's good to see finally Connor was involved in something and the refs actually called the penalty. It was on Connor, but it's amazing that something was actually called. I think Cass can attest to this. Sometimes when you come in as a young player, there's a level of respect towards the league that you have because you've looked up to it for so long. You look at the refs talking to them. I believe John Shannon was talking in the game against Leafs. Connor was like yelling at the refs and being a lot more involved and pushing a guy's head into the ice. And even he was saying how he liked to see this from Connor. I love it. He's got to start creating more room for himself. Like look no further than the Moose. Like he would viciously, he had no regard for human life at certain points of games. He was
trying to hurt people. Yeah.
He would try to hurt. If a guy went to hit him, he made sure that guy felt an elbow, and that guy didn't hit him anymore. And that's, unfortunately, we've gotten to a point where someone's going to get injured. And if that's what's going to happen, and if Connor McDavid's going to, or Leon Draisaitl or Nathan McKinnon is going to cross-check a guy in the face because he has had enough of the hooking and holding and grabbing, getting hit from behind without the puck, someone's going to get really injured here. And it's not going to, I don't fault Connor or these guys for doing something, because they need to start taking care of themselves if the refs aren't going to do it.
Yeah, I'm with Cass, man. Like that night, even to the next day, like the fascination to create something out of nothing, like it's just, I mean, and then people saying superstars can be suspended. Connor McDavid has been suspended, so it's not like he gets a pass every time. Right, but look at McKinnon yesterday. He threw the helmet at Garland, and no one's talking about it, but because it's Connor McDavid, and I agree with you, Dusty. You watch the replay, everybody was like, "Oh, it's a headshot. It's shoulder to shoulder," and he kind of rides up after, and Kotkaniemi sells it as well. And like you said, and I think Jamie McLennan said it on your show, he was laughing about it.
Yeah,
Kotkaniemi. So it's just it gets so annoying that it Dusty, there's media guys and some guys I always chat with back and forth, and they're like, was he injected? He should get 5 games. And I'm like, are you guys serious right now? And I had to respond to them and be like, come on, guys. Are you guys just saying this because it's Connor McDavid? It's ridiculous. There was nothing there. He got and the NHL gave him a fine, guys, because of what everybody was saying. I guarantee you they were probably like, let's just give him $5,000. And that was shocking.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't mean anything to him. Yeah, it's just I get frustrated thinking about it and thinking about people saying that, and hockey writers that watch hockey on a regular basis saying things about that. That to me is just it's lazy and dumb. Just don't why go that direction? Just foolish and stupid. Just don't even. Again, if you want to debate should he get a game? Should you get a fine? That was a penalty. Fine. But the second you get into that, 5 games, this and that, and it's just stupid. Just give it a rest.
I had somebody text into my show this morning and say, McDavid give him the old school Mark Messier elbow. And I was like, no, he didn't.
No.
Kotkaniemi would just be waking up if Mark Messier gave him an elbow. It's a different level. There's Messier, and then there's Bure on Churla, and then there's everybody else. I mean, that's essentially what it was.
For everybody that wants to see an elbow, watch Burry on Sherlock.
Buddy, the all time. I think Don Cherry and Rock'em Sock'em 5 or whatever called it the mother of all elbows, and I think he was right. It really was. All right, let's bring in Chris Abbott from Coolbet Canada. Chris, you remember the mother of all elbows, don't you?
I don't. I mean, I'm sure I do, but it's funny that it's from Bure to Shane Churlish, because that would go the other way 999 times out of 1,000.
He crossed them all off. He charged. He left his feet. Like, he was probably about this high in the air by the time he got Churlish's head. It was unbelievable.
You guys make a good point though about these superstars getting frustrated, and I'm sure it was the same scenario there, right? I mean, Bure, nobody could skate like Bure to get probably till McDavid came in the league, and yeah, I mean, it's they're having their skill, their differentiator is taken away from them at no cost to the other guys.
Yeah, it's something that needs to be done. It's getting crazy. Like, I watched a compilation of Connor getting penalties, and it's just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible.
Chris, a humble brag here. After Buffalo blew that 3-goal lead the other night, I sprinkled money on them yesterday because I'm saying they're getting it done tonight, especially after that one. And it was safe. It was safe. It won't going into the third, so I felt pretty good. It was funny because, as hockey guys, and as we bet and all that, like you knew that was Buffalo's game there to win, eh?
The first one was, yeah, and I mean the second one, it's too bad that it was against Philly, because you would have got a much better price against another team. But I mean, the Flyers are an absolute disaster right now. One good period does not change that. One good period against Buffalo does not change that.
Hernan, how much do you have on the Generals, the Washington Generals, to beat the Globetrotters? You must have some money on them too with that Sabre strategy.
I'll keep waiting on that one.
They're due. They are due to win a game. Absolutely due.
Chris, Winnipeg and Toronto. I mean, we know where the money comes in on the Leafs. We see it in the Stanley Cup odds and stuff. But the Jets are basically the best value bet in the National Hockey League so far this year. So what's the book been like? What's the numbers, I guess, been like a cool bet with these two teams going head to head right now?
Yeah, I think outside of the fact that we're popular in Winnipeg, it would be an even bigger spread of bets towards Toronto. But yeah, I mean, people just keep putting money down on them, and I keep going the other way. Like, the Jets get they're the ultimate Rodney Dangerfield situation, and I don't know how many of your viewers get that reference, but no respect for them, and they've proven it, and now the money shows it. They're the best money line bet in the entire league. If you bet every game for the Jets versus betting every game for everybody else, you'd be further ahead with betting on the Jets. So I bet on them last night. I will give Toronto credit. I thought they played a very complete game, and the Jets had a terrible first period. But other than that, I'll still be betting on the Jets when they play tomorrow.
With baseball starting up, what you must get tons of action with the Jays now. What is the I was trying to see what the odds were for them to actually win this year. What's as of right now, who do you look at to give us best odds in Major League Baseball to win the whole thing?
Well, Gager, it's actually quite interesting because, as you might expect, we have a huge liability on the Jays to win the World Series. But they are second just being in Canada, and that's who everybody is cheering for. But because they are, second on the odds list in the American League East, they're right there in the American League overall. So they're about 20-1. I'm just trying to bring it up right now because it has changed. But I know that I actually got an email this morning saying that our liability on the Blue Jays is absolutely insane right now. So yeah, like most teams,
you're fine. They're not winning, Chris.
Well, that's the thing.
You're okay.
I think if the Jays were to win the World Series, and this takes into account every other bet we have, right? So this is overall risk, $150,000 off the bottom line as of right now. Whereas we're the Dodgers who are the favorites. It's not even close. Like we want the Dodgers to win the World Series. Like it's not. The Jays are at 30-1 to win the World Series right now, which is a pretty good price. Like the pitching staff sucks. I'm actually watching right now. I've got a first 5-inning bet going under 4 runs. It's the bottom of the fifth,
You're good.
and there's now two out. So I'm just waiting to see how this blows up in my face. But it's not like those are the worst bets to lose. But some good value. I don't know, the Minnesota Twins 21-1. I think again they're underrated. I think they're a good baseball team. The Tampa Bay Rays at 35-1. They always seem to find a way to get there. I mean, geez, this is a team that lost in the final last year. Granted, they don't have Blake Snell anymore, but 35-1 is a pretty good number. The Phillies 45-1. They've underachieved for the last couple of seasons. So I think we're in line for a really competitive baseball season. I mean, the Yankees and the Dodgers are supposed to run away with it. San Diego's third on the list at 9-1. But I think we're going to see a whole lot of competition and a really fun betting season for Major League Baseball, assuming they get the games in. I mean, what, 2 canceled for COVID today, or maybe 1 and 1 rain? I don't know. But, they're going full on Texas home opener next week. They're selling out the stadium. Like, yeah. And the crazy thing with that is, so they're selling out the stadium in Texas for opening night, and then they're bringing restrictions back in for the rest of the season. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, what is this? It's in North Korea, and we're having a military parade, doing it because we can. Like, I don't get it. And
the vaccine's in the relish. The vaccine is in the relish.
I'm fired up today anyway because Ontario is flip-flopping again on restrictions here. So this is probably not a good day for me to have a live microphone.
Well, we can let you go if you want, Chris. That's all right.
No.
I want to bring you in here on one of the questions I was going to do for Keep It or Clip It, but we're talking baseball right now, so we might as well bring Abbott in. So I'll throw it to you guys. Chris, you can answer first, and the rest of the boys can chime in. Peanuts are the best food or beverage option at a ballpark. Keep it or clip it.
I'm sorry, what? Peanuts? Is that
peanuts.
How you say peanuts?
Peanuts. But I say
I didn't know what kind of ballpark we were at there for a second there.
Peanuts.
Whoa, hey. Whoa.
Sorry, Cass. I hate to embarrass you. Peanuts.
Okay.
Are the best? Sorry, was
the best food or beverage option at ballpark?
Oh, no, let's clip it. Beer is the best food or beverage option, followed then by hot dogs and popcorn.
Yeah. You can't do that, Dusty. You can't do it. You got to have a beer. You got to have a hot dog, and then maybe peanuts. You get your peanuts later, you know.
Well, here's my take on it though, right? Like, if you, this is some sort of inside joke that I'm missing out on, isn't it?
No.
Okay.
No.
So the other problem is you look like an absolute pig, because you get up to go to the washroom and there's shells all over like where you're sitting. And then, like, especially if you're sitting at the end of the row and people are like, excuse me, you're like, sorry, that's just my elephant-sized pile of peanut casings there. It's a no-go for me.
Yeah, I'll clip it too. It's beer and the good old hot dog, man. That's the go-to right there.
Oh, so
yeah, good. I gotta clip it. I have beer and hot dog at the same level though.
Yes.
I have them right at the same. Hot dog might even be a little bit in front of it because, with those heroin beers that you get at ballparks, like, I don't know if you can have one without the other. So I got the hot dog right up there too, because if anything, it's like if I'm watching a baseball game, I could watch a baseball game without a beer. I don't know if I could watch one live without a hot dog. Like, if I get hungry, I'm going to be a lot more cranky than if I didn't have a beer. So I don't know, I think I'd probably take a hot dog first and then beer second. And then I'm gonna go here. Mini donuts for me are number 3, and then popcorn, and then peanuts. Way down on the list, Dustin.
Peanuts below popcorn? Below popcorn?
Yeah, for me too. Yeah.
You guys are all delusional.
Yeah, nachos. I might even have nachos above there. Or, like, what about a pretzel with cheese? Like, nacho.
What are you guys, allergic? Are you allergic to peanuts? What's going on here? Gager, are you allergic to peanuts?
Well, I was going to say something there. No peanut allergies here, Dusty.
For me though, like, even the only one that made me question myself was the last Jays game I was at. I bought just like a bag of Twizzlers, like the $2.99 ones from Shoppers. I don't know. I had to spend $20 on one of those things. That was like, at least like the hot dogs, the popcorn are still like reasonable price, and then some of that packaged stuff is it's a bit insane.
if we look at the song, so where are we on the Cracker Jacks? I mean, if you look at the song, we should be going peanuts first, right? So
yeah,
That's
I
true.
like Cracker Jacks too, but it's a little sticky for that environment because it gets on your hands and it's warm. And
yeah, peanuts and Cracker Jacks get sticky. I think we got the name of the podcast.
two in a row. I'm doing
Sticky
well.
peanuts and Cracker Jacks.
Chris, we'll catch up next week, buddy. Have a good Easter weekend.
All right, thanks, fellas. And by the way, the Yankees are about to ruin this bet on me. We're gone to video reviews, so let's see what happens. Always the way. Always the way.
Sorry,
Take care,
buddy.
fellas, and have a great
Bye,
weekend.
buddy.
There you go. That's Chris Abbott from Coolbet Canada. I guess maybe I do incorrectly say the word peanuts. I just always have said it so quickly. It's just peanuts. Give me peanuts. But I'll work on that, boys. But that is my go-to because I don't really
Say
sit
peanuts
down.
quickly 5 times fast.
What's that, Cass?
You better
Say
not.
Peanuts quickly 5 times fast.
Peanuts, 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 peanuts. We're getting carried away here. Let's bring it back around. One more we got to talk about, and for me, it's Bouchard. We see it looks like Jones might draw in here, and Bouchard has now, as of today, gone 1 month without playing a hockey game in a pretty important development season, at least in my opinion. So they've had a couple of soft spots where they could have snuck him in. They didn't. Cass, does this make sense what they're doing? Do we give him a pass because of the year? What's going on with Bouchard?
Nope. Does not make sense. I do not give them a pass. You got to do something with him. If you knew he was going to be out of the lineup for this amount of time, you should have sent him down. And I understand there's clearing, and I understand like COVID rules and quarantine, but guy needs to play. And it's not like he was playing horribly. Like did he have some games where he made mistakes? Yes. Did he need to be better at times? Yeah. But he's a young player. Like, don't have him sitting collecting dust. You need him practicing and playing. And playing takes the priority over practicing, not just with the taxi squad, but with full squad and full games and actually playing some minutes. So I don't like that he hasn't played this long. I don't like that it looks like he's not going to play. You need to send him down. Get this kid in the lineup.
What is the do the rules apply for call-ups from the minor league team? Is it 2 weeks as well, or is it down to that 1 week of quarantine? Because I could see the reason why they didn't do it, because if they did need to recall him, it would have been the 2 weeks from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
But now that if it is just the 1 week, and it doesn't look like he's going to be playing anytime soon. I would have definitely sent him down. That's he needs to play some games, and I know we've talked about the AHL being a little bit watered down. What a great time to send him down. Then if it is watered down, he'll have more confidence in that first 10 minutes in a game than he would in probably 10 games. So playing against maybe guys that aren't up to snuff. So I get him down there, get some confidence going, and then playoffs roll around, get him back up, right?
Yeah, and it's a sticky situation. Well, like Cass said, Barry and Larson are not coming out. We get that. But it's not like Bear's been outstanding and Bouchard's been terrible. I mean, you can slide him in for a few games, play him in that 10 to 13 range, which the third pairing's playing anyway. I don't think he hurts you. It'd be different if Bear was playing outstanding like he did last season. But like Gage brings a good point, too. If you send him down quarantine, you bring him back up, it's quarantine. So it's definitely interesting to see what they're doing with him because he needs to be playing. He's far too talented to be just sitting out and practicing. So we'll see if he draws in here on the road trip, Dusty, at least one game, I would hope.
Well, luckily for him, he was playing overseas before, so he got some game action in this year, else he wouldn't have played much at all. There's no concern here, Cass, about long-term development or damage here, is there? I mean, we know it's unfortunate and not huge fans of how they've handled him, but it's all going to be okay. Tell me it's going to be okay, Cass. Cass doesn't know.
I don't know if I can. Like, how can I tell you that having a player shelving him for a significant period of time during crucial development time is good for a guy. Like, is he going to be better off or is he going to be worse off? Well, he's going to be worse off. Does it ruin what he's going to be as a defenseman? No. So maybe if that's what you're looking for, I don't think it ruins him necessarily, but it certainly doesn't help, and it certainly doesn't speed up his development time frame. It slows it down.
And I know on the post-game show, we got a text a few days ago about this, and someone brought up Noah Dobson last year, where they kind of kept him up too and didn't really play him a lot, and it didn't hurt him. I don't know if that's a good comparison, and I'm pretty sure it was
not a bad comparison. It was Dobson. Gazzola mentioned it on Oil Stream or something the other day too. Yeah, he played 34 games last year, so he played like half the season in and out.
Mm-hmm.
For
Dobson. But that's 34 games. How many has Bouchard played?
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't got anywhere close to that number. That's a good point. So, yeah, at least, I mean, if you look at when the season was canceled last year, essentially Dobson was in every second game. Right now, Bouchard has played 12, and those majority of those came over that stretch when Bear was injured. So, yeah, not ideal, that's for sure. But we'll see how he looks when he does get back in. All right, let's get to keep it or clip it. I already wasted the one question with Abbott when he was here, but I got three more for you guys. Starting with this one on the red-hot Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres will hit 12 wins this season. Keep it or clip it.
Oh.
Are they
at 7 right now? I think they're at 7.
I think it's 7.
It is 7.
I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna clip it because they're gonna trade people and they're just gonna get worse.
Imagine that. Getting worse.
No, I'm going to keep it because they're going to get rid of one player, and who knows what happens once that leaves. So, yeah, I'm going to keep it. They're going to become a powerhouse and really take off from there. If this was an 82-game schedule, it could be a lot different.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it too. They're going to go on a heater.
They're going to win 2 in a row.
That would be
all right, question number 2 with Easter upon us here. A solid chocolate bunny is the best Easter treat. Keep it or clip it. I'm not talking like massive, but I'm talking, like that good size bunny that comes in the plastic casing and cardboard.
Clip it. I mean, I know you can get them year round, but mini eggs all the way. Not the like ones with the weird stuff inside, but like just like straight up Cadbury mini eggs. Those are by far and away the best.
They are the GOAT.
I will. I don't have kids, guys, so I'll just. When I was a kid, I'm gonna keep it because I love those Dusty. I thought they were the best.
They are good. Gager?
Yeah, I didn't get the treatment as a kid with my family, but Megan my wife gets puts on the bunny suit and she lays out the chocolate and stuff like that, and the little treasure trails and things like that for the kids, and they're a little bit. The solid bunnies, I'm not a huge fan of. I always wanted to grab one of those like, what is it? That's 15-pound gummy bears like that you can buy. I think that would be kind of fun at the end of the trail. We did, and the scavenger hunts are kind of fun with the clues.
Yeah,
I'll give it that.
Well, I was going to say, really though, guys. I mean, we just want peanuts at the end of the trail.
Cass,
a treasure
get your
trail, the
mind
peanuts
out of the gutter. This guy, unbelievable. All right, last one. Tyler Ennis, as we mentioned off the top here on waivers today, likely claim, but Tyler Ennis should be a regular in the Oilers' top 9. Keep it or clip it.
Ooh, good question.
Keep it. I think I'm going to keep it. I think he's been solid enough when he's been in there that he should be a regular at this point. Like, I get that you're trying to move things around and have a little bit of flexibility here, but I don't know. I would much rather have him on that second line on that left wing than Cahoon. But that's not what we're going to see. So I think he should be, but he's not going to be.
I'll keep it too. I really like Tyler Ennis. I mean, production wise, you'd probably want a little bit more, but I'm with Cass. I think he's played well. He can play up and down those 3 lines, and he gets in there. He's got some slick little plays in him. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he draws out. Right now, guys, honestly, I'd probably take him over Cahoon. It's close, but yeah, I'd definitely keep it. I like Ennis.
Yeah, I'd keep it too. I like when I watch Cahoon play. I think he tries to do a little bit too much. Ennis kind of plays within his skill set, and the skill set is quite high. But
Yes.
when it comes to the point where he has to make a simple play, to whether it's on the defensive or offensive side of the puck, he makes really good decisions that doesn't put his teammates in trouble. And I find when Cahoon's playing, it's not a fault. He's just trying to get things done. But there are some risks taken with Cahoon that sometimes turn up going the other way and chances for the other team.
I just like the way Ennis has a little bit of a shiftiness in the offensive zone. Like, he makes some skill plays individually in the offensive zone that you just haven't seen, the James Neals, the Chasons, the Nygaards, Cahoon even at that level in the offensive zone. So I'd like to see him in there on a more regular basis, but not going to be the case right now, at least for Calgary, I guess, on Friday. All right, let's wrap up with that, actually, guys. Prediction for the Battle of Alberta, Saturday night or Friday night. Cass, what happens?
4-2 win Oilers with an empty net.
Seems reasonable.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go. I mean, they won't play as bad as they did against Montreal, because that was awful. I'm with Cass. I think they're gonna win. I'm gonna go low scoring. I'm gonna go 3-1, also with an empty netter.
I'm going to go 4-3 regulation. I got to stick with the rest of the guys. I'm sure fans in Calgary were so happy when the Oilers laid an egg against Montreal the other night. So they screwed them, and they didn't even play against them. So it's going to be a double whammy on Friday.
Angry Connor McDavid with a couple days rest against the Calgary Flames. Take the Oilers in the over. There you go. That's your pick. Boys, have a great Easter weekend. We'll catch up on Monday with another episode of Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by our friends at Cool Bet Canada. Enjoy your time with family, boys, and we'll catch up in a few days, all right?
Later, boys.
Bye, boys.